My name's Mark and you're listening to Head Straight. Hello you lot and welcome back to Season 6. Now this season is about something that doesn't get named properly. That point when life's moving forwards, but you don't fully feel like you're in it. Now nothing's completely wrong. You're doing the things, handling responsibilities, making decisions, keeping things going. But underneath that, there's this sense that something's shifted. You don't think the same way that you used to. You don't react in the same way. Things that used to feel simple don't land in the same way anymore. And you can't always explain it. It's not one problem, it's a mix of things. Pressure that sits in the background, expectations that don't quite fit, moments that hit harder than you expected, relationships that feel different without anything clearly breaking, a world that feels louder and harder to switch off from. And all of that builds into something subtle but constant, a sense that you're slightly out of sync in your own life. That's what this season is about. Not fixing that, but understanding it. Because what's actually happening here isn't that you're doing something wrong. It's that you're in a stage of life where things are changing faster than you can fully process them. You're taking on more responsibility whilst still figuring yourself out. You're making decisions without having done this before. You're adjusting to loss, pressure and uncertainty without a clear guide for how to handle it. So of course it feels unsettling. Of course it feels unclear. But that's not failure. It's just transition. And the problem is, no one really explains that properly. So people either try to push through it or start pulling away from it. And neither of those ways of managing it actually helps. What does help is slowing it down enough to see what's really going on. To understand what's changing, what actually matters to you now, and what no longer fits. Because once you see that clearly, then something shifts. You stop reacting to everything. You stop trying to force yourself into things that don't quite fit, and you start making smaller, more deliberate choices. Not perfect ones, just ones that line up a little bit more with who you actually are now. And that's where this season lands. Not in having everything figured out, but in something much more useful than that. Clarity. A bit more awareness. A bit more control. A bit more direction. Enough to stop drifting through it and start shaping it. Because your life at this stage isn't something that you arrive at. It's something that you build whilst you're still figuring it out. And that's what this season is. Not a set of answers, a way of understanding where you are so that you can start choosing what comes next. So, are you up for it? Of course you are.